I made a $200,000 mistake once, not because I didn't have information. I had too much of it. Not because I lacked intelligence. I lacked patience. I decided in a hurry. I trusted my gut when I should have traced my logic, and my gut was wrong. That mistake taught me the most expensive lesson of my career. The quality of your decisions determines the quality of your life. And in 2026, the leaders making the best decisions aren't the ones with the sharpest instincts. They're the ones who know how to think, and who partner with AI that knows how to think alongside them. Welcome back. My name is your name. And if you're here, you're not looking for surface-level advice. You're looking for the integration of cutting-edge technology and timeless wisdom. Leadership that transforms, engineering that solves, AI that amplifies, business that blesses, faith that grounds everything. That's what we build here, every single week. Today we're talking about reasoning models, AI that doesn't just answer, but thinks, step by step, consequence by consequence, layer by layer. And I'm going to show you why mastering this isn't just a technology upgrade. It's a leadership discipline. It's a spiritual practice. And if you internalize it, you will be ahead of 99% of the leaders in your industry. For years, AI was like that friend who always has an answer, immediately, confidently, and sometimes completely wrong. You ask a complex question, and it spits out a response that sounds brilliant until it falls apart under the slightest scrutiny. Because old AI was trained to predict the next word, not to reason through a problem. Think about the difference between a student who memorizes answers and a student who genuinely understands the material. One gets an A on the exam, the other can solve problems they've never seen before. Old AI was the memorizer. New reasoning models are the thinker. But here's the truth most people miss. This isn't about AI replacing human thinking. It's about AI extending human thinking. It's about building a practice partner that challenges your assumptions, exposes your blind spots, and forces you to show your work before you act. Let me take you inside a decision I faced not long ago. I was evaluating a major partnership, 7 figures, multi-year commitment, significant strategic implications for everything we were building. My gut said yes. The numbers looked strong. The team was impressive. Every surface signal aligned. Before I signed, I did something I've trained myself to do, and now teach to every leader I mentor. I opened a reasoning model. Not to ask, should I do this? That would be outsourcing my judgment. Instead, I fed it my analysis and asked something different. What am I missing? What would make this analysis wrong? What would a skeptical investor with no emotional stake say? What are the second and third order consequences I haven't mapped? The model walked through my reasoning step by step. It identified market correlations I'd overlooked. It flagged risks my optimism had quietly papered over. It asked questions I hadn't considered. What happens if the regulatory environment shifts in 18 months? What if their key relationship manager exits? What if this partnership cannibalizes our most profitable line of business? None of these were immediate deal breakers, but they were factors that demanded addressing. I renegotiated 2 terms. I built in contingency clauses I wouldn't have considered. 6 months later, one of those exact risks materialized. And because of those clauses, my business was protected instead of exposed. That decision didn't just save me money. It reinforced a discipline I now build into every major decision. Fast decisions are usually fragile decisions. The leader who pauses to reason, who maps consequences, who asks, and then what, 3 times, that leader builds things that last. Proverbs 4:7 says, "The beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding." Notice what Solomon emphasizes, not information, understanding. The Hebrew word is bina, deep discernment, the ability to see the connections running beneath the surface. Information tells you what, understanding tells you why, how, and what comes next. And look at how Jesus himself led. When the Pharisees tried to trap him with questions, he didn't react. He reasoned. He asked counter questions. He exposed the assumptions hiding inside their assumptions. In Luke 20, they asked whether taxes should be paid to Caesar. Jesus didn't give a yes or no. He asked whose image was on the coin. Then he reasoned from first principles to a conclusion that transcended the trap entirely. That's the standard. Reflective leadership, not reactive leadership. God-grounded reasoning, not ego-driven gut instinct. Engineers understand this discipline intuitively. You don't debug code by guessing, you trace the logic. You walk the execution path line by line. You identify exactly where the reasoning breaks down, and you fix that specific point. Reasoning models apply that same discipline to business decisions, strategic planning, and life choices. They force you to show your work. But here's the engineering principle I need you to internalize. A model is only as good as its inputs. Garbage in, garbage out. If you feed a reasoning model shallow, emotionally loaded thinking, you'll get shallow reasoning amplified back at you. The discipline isn't just in using the tool. It's in arriving at the tool having already done serious analytical work, so the model can challenge something worth challenging. As leaders, we face a crisis of speed. Everything demands an immediate response. The market moves fast. Competitors move faster. Your inbox is a fire hose of urgency dressed up as importance. In that environment, the temptation is to react instead of reason. But here's what the best leaders have always known. The leader who cannot be challenged is the leader who cannot grow. If you surround yourself with agreement, you build an echo chamber. If you make decisions without pressure testing them, you build on sand. Reasoning models give you a practice partner for this discipline. Before you send that email, before you greenlight that project, before you make that hire, you can pressure test your thinking against an intelligence that will challenge your assumptions without personal agenda. James Clear writes, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." Reasoning is a system for better thinking, and better thinking is the foundation of better leadership, better entrepreneurship, better relationships, better everything. Andy Grove said, "Only the paranoid survive." I'd update that for this channel. Only the self-aware thrive. Paranoia makes you fearful. Self-awareness makes you better. AI-assisted reasoning is self-awareness operating at scale. So here's your challenge this week. The next time you face a significant decision in business, relationships, or your own growth, don't just ask, "What should I do?" Ask, "What is my reasoning?" Write it down, step through it, find the gaps, then let something external challenge it before you commit. Because the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thinking. If this framework helped you, smash that like button. Let's get this to the leaders who need better decision-making systems. Comment below. What's one area of your life where you know you've been reacting instead of reasoning? I want your real answers, not your highlight reel. Real growth happens in honest conversation. Subscribe and follow. Every week we go deeper into leadership, AI, engineering, business, and biblical wisdom. And share this with someone who makes decisions that affect other people's lives. A manager, a parent, a founder, a pastor. They need every advantage available to them. See you in the next one.